What's up, guys? Welcome back to Everyday Money Online Personal Finance YouTube channel. Possibly the best one on the entire internet. Be sure to hit that like button if you agree with that, and while you're at it, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss anything that I put out. Did you guys get one of these from our friends at the IRS?
Damn it! Who typed a question mark on the teleprompter?
What I think that we have here is the last bit of COVID stimulus that we're going to get for COVID-19. If you remember what COVID-19 was, it was a bit of a virus that had kind of a worldwide impact from the end of 19 all the way through 20. And with governments shutting down their economies worldwide, they opened up their cash cannons and just fired off cash at everyone like buckshot out of a shotgun, and this, I believe, is going to be the final bit of stimulus that we get. What we are looking at here is an expanded child tax credit that goes from the legislation that was passed by the newly appointed Biden administration in May. It was part of the American Rescue Plan, and the big news for it was that it gave everybody $1,400 stimulus checks on top of the $600 stimulus checks that the outgoing Trump administration authorized shortly before the transition into the Biden administration. The child tax credit expansion was kind of really skimmed over by almost everybody, and it's going to end up being a lot of money and a lot of stimulus that is going to be probably the last hurrah of the coronavirus stimulus. For folks that have children, and I'm not sure if everybody gets one of these letters or if it's just people with kids, I'm not sure. And so leave that in the comments for me if you are someone who does not have children and you got one of these, because I've had children since essentially as long as I can remember, and so I got one. And what it does is it is telling you that they increased the child tax credit in 2021 from the $2,000 that it used to be to $3,000 for children between the ages of 6 and 17, and $3,600 for any kids under 6. And one of the biggest things for this child tax credit expansion as well is that it is 100% refundable. So even if you don't owe any tax, you will still get the full benefit of this expanded child tax credit. If you're asking about what if my kid turns XYZ age during 2021? And the answer to that is that their age as calculated for this expanded child tax credit will be whatever they are at the end of December on the 31st of 2021. Now, the big bonus for this whole child tax credit expansion, and the reason why it is going to be considered stimulus, is that what they have done is they have taken half of that amount and they are going to make it prepaid to you in monthly installments starting in July. On July 15th is when they plan to have it rolled out. Now, if you guys have ever dealt with the government, sometimes the way that they want to do things doesn't end up being that way, because they have to administer it to all 50 states and 350 million or so residents, so it may not roll out perfectly, but it's supposed to start on July 15th, and I'll put the chart of the other dates for the rest of the year, and I believe for the most part it's on the 15th every month, except for maybe August. I think August was on the 13th, because I don't have the chart in front of me right now, but it should be in front of you on the screen. And they are going to pay out half of this amount that you are entitled to for however many kids you have in equal installments for 6 months. So what that's going to break down to is $250 per child per month, that is 6 to 17, and $300 a month for each child that is under 6. Now, there are income limits to this, just like pretty much every part of the stimulus plans have been, and those income limits are $75,000 if you're single, $112,500 if you qualify as a head of household, and $150,000 if you are married and filed jointly. Now, this does phase out as income goes up, and what I read on the IRS's website is for every $1,000 of income that you make over those limits, it reduces the total benefit by $50. Another thing to keep in mind with this income limits is this is not a gross income limit. So, if you make $160,000 and you're married filing jointly, that does not necessarily mean that it is going to automatically start reducing your benefit. This, like most other things in the federal tax realm, is based on your adjusted gross income, not your gross income. And so, for example, if you take the standard deduction, you are going to take away about $24,000 worth of income as a deduction. So just right off the bat with the standard deduction, which I think is $24,000, it's not right in front of me, but you could make up to $174,000 married filing jointly and still get 100% of this benefit. So if you look at the typical like family with 3 kids, somewhere between ages of 6 and 17, for the rest of the year from July to December, they will be getting a check from the IRS for $750 and will total $4,500 altogether. Now you can search on Google and I'm sure find any given calculator, but it's fairly easy to figure it out. Just put however many kids that you have, their ages, and use that $250 for the 6 to 17, $300 for the under 6, and you can essentially count on that every month as long as your income is under the limits that they have set. Now, let's smash that like button for me for the YouTube algorithm. It's always very important. That will definitely stimulate that like button and spread this video internet-wide, and let's get into what you can do with this money as it comes in. Now, just like all the other stimulus plans, there is no real stipulation about what you have to do with this money. And if you guys are out there and you are still struggling, or if you're just struggling in general, and this is a nice little windfall for you to maybe get on your feet and you got to eat and live and pay your rent, pay your mortgage, do that with it. Survive if you have to survive with this money. But if you are doing okay and you have some debts, you have some credit card debts or you have some student loan debts, this money is a great way for you to pay that debt off and get out from under that debt and be able to use your income in other ways. Another thing that you can do with this, and this is a smart thing if you have been putting some of these things off, is just like to make some needed purchases that you need for your everyday life. Like, for example, if you have a major car repair that you've been putting off, if you have an appliance like a washer, a dryer, a refrigerator that's been on the fritz, that's on its way out and it's causing you lots of problems, $4,500 will do a lot to get those things fixed. If you have home repairs, like you have a couple windows that are out, you need roof repairs that are done, foundation repairs, things that are making your home less than livable, this is a good way to spend that money. What 30 to 40% of people did with the other stimulus monies that we had gotten, the other checks that we had gotten, I think we got a $1,200, we got a $600, we got a $1,400, now you're going to be getting these if you have kids, is that it was invested, most of it into the stock market. And so if you have all these other things covered and you are in good shape financially, you're still going to get this money. The government doesn't care. They want it out there. They want it to stimulate the economy. They want it to grow the economy. So if you can take this money and invest it into something that is going to make it grow, if you can put it into something that can double in 7 to 10 years, you have taken that stimulus money and you have made it a double in size, and you can essentially use it over and over again. If you are really well off, you've got a retirement plan, you've got some stock market investments, you've got some real estate investments, etc., you can use this to gamble into crypto if you want. If you have your eye on something that you think is going to pop, if you are one of the Shiba army and you think the Shiba Inu coin is going to pop, take $750 and throw it in there if you can afford to lose that money. But just think that instead of maybe blowing it on a vacation or blowing it on whatever, and if that's what you want to do, fine too. But if you can invest this money, you can use this windfall that's probably not going to come around again, although this is part of the government tax code right now, and if you have been around the government again long enough, you will know that government programs very rarely cease to exist. So we will see if this is going to be extended into the future, and if they are going to do this every year, or if they are at least going to keep the child tax credit amounts at the $3,000 and $6,000 marks versus the $2,000 that preceded the Biden administration. That's yet to be seen, but as far as these gigantic stimulus windfalls that some folks are getting because they are well off, because they haven't lost their job, I don't see another one of those coming in the near future. So like I've said twice already, if you guys like this video, if you got some value out of it, be sure to hit that like button for me for the YouTube algorithm. I do think that this is going to be the last amount of stimulus that we see out of COVID-19. I believe with inflation going up the way that it is and just in general employment getting back to normal, and I see help wanted signs everywhere, most businesses are having a hard time finding people to work. I do not think that there will be any more stimulus from the COVID-19 pandemic. So guys, if you haven't yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below to grow your wealth, increase your success, put you on the road to financial freedom. I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you in the next one.